Hi, everyone, and welcome to the third episode of Fika with Matthew. We have a change of scenery. I don't know how good the sound quality is going to be because I'm kind of at the beach right now. I started filming this episode when I was at home on my couch, and I'm like, this is kind of like not the point of Fika, you know? Fika is supposed to be like a break in the day, but like the thing is like I've been cooped up inside all day, kind of like doing editing and packing. So I've just kind of been working all day. And I'm like, well, I want a break. So I wanted to get outside. But since I left my home, I don't have any tea. I have some water. And for my Fika earlier, I started eating this it's called a fruit buckle from the co-op that I picked up, but I took one bite of it and I was like, hell no. It was so bad. So I was like, you know what? If everything is going not to plan, then why don't I just go try and do this by the water and actually have a nice, relaxing break to my day. What I wanted to talk about today was basically what I'm trying to do right now. Slow down, you know? I feel like so much of my life, I've just been speeding up. Like, I just want to get to the next time, like the next moment, the next goal, the next whatever it is. And I literally just keep wishing my life away. And I'm so sick of it. And that's what I wanted to talk about today in this episode, slowing down in a world when the world just wants you to pick up the pace. I feel like with technology advancing and AI and just everything, like we just keep speeding up when all I want to do is want everyone to slow down. I think my first time in Sweden really planted the idea in my head that there's value in doing things slowly and taking your time doing things slowly. Because when you build something slowly, it's harder to destroy, you know? If you take your time with something and build up the foundation, then it's really hard to kick out the foundation from under it. Well, if you build something in a rush, then not only are you going to be burnt out, it's going to be less likely to withstand time. And I feel like I've taken that approach to a lot of different things with my approach to how I do my social media. Like, I'm not looking for, super big jumps in growth and super big jumps in engagement. I'm just looking for slow, continuous growth over time. For me, like the whole point of social media is I literally just view it as like modern day networking. I am putting myself out there in a sea of people, and especially since I'm going to Sweden to go get my master's for 2 years, like if I do want to stay afterwards, or if I want to look for an internship there, like doing social media to me is the best way to market myself when I want to do marketing for my job and like branding and stuff. So I'm like, if I do it for myself and prove like, hey, I can market myself, then why won't you let me market your brand? You know what I mean? Honestly, like I'm really happy with how my life is going, although it feels incredibly isolating in a sense because I just feel so, I don't know what the right way to put it. I just feel like I'm doing my own thing. And I think I've always done that in life, but I think right now it feels a little extra scary because I'm making a big step. I'm done with college and I don't have to get my master's, but I'm choosing to get my master's and I'm choosing to do it in a foreign country and I'm choosing to do it where I don't know anyone and that's hard. And that's why I feel like the whole point of Fika is like something that I really try to implement in my life, like something that I really liked from Sweden because it's just a daily reminder to slow down and be present. At first, I feel like I didn't really get the whole concept of Fika. At first, to me, it was like, why would I take a break in the day if I'm being productive and I'm getting things done, you know? Like, what's the point of it? And while I think, it's good to be productive and get things done and, so you can feel accomplished at the end of the day because I love feeling accomplished and like feeling like I have achieved something that was difficult because I like a challenge. I also think it's challenging to slow down and it's challenging to take the time to rest and reflect and appreciate where you are and how far you've come because that's also difficult. Maybe it's less difficult for others, but I think it's one of the most difficult things for me. I think it's probably one of the most difficult things you can do actually to slow down because again, I feel like the world is just speeding up and that's all the world is right now is telling you what you need to do to succeed. Like, you have to work yourself to the bone, and you have to constantly be doing a job and side hustles and all of this and that and that and that, and it doesn't give you much room to enjoy your life and be happy because right now the world is telling you that if you do wanna have a successful career and stability and, have experiences, then you have to work yourself to the bone, and I don't wanna work myself to the bone because I really wanna enjoy my life. I feel like I've spent a lot of my time when I was younger, like, I wouldn't do anything alone. If I was going to do something, it had to be with people. I was such a collectivist growing up. I would always be doing, like, team sports and clubs and this and that, and necessarily, I wasn't doing it because I liked, the thing I was doing. I did it more so, like, this is what I should be doing for college, or this is what I should be doing for XYZ reason, or I'm doing this for socialization. And after all of those things, when I would come home, I would do absolutely nothing. I wouldn't do anything unless it involved somebody else. And I think that probably goes to like not having a lot of confidence growing up. And that's something I've, grown into over time. Now I feel like when I wanna slow down, I wanna slow down on my own. While before, it's like if I wanna slow down, it would be with other people. And I think it's a really weird thing, this idea that we should be going a million miles per year, because successful people today, if you were to ask them, like millionaires, billionaires, whatever you deem to be successful, a lot of them will tell you like you have to focus and grind and you have to give up relationships with people or you have to give up time with family and friends. Like you have to sacrifice something in order to achieve something. I do think that is accurate to some degree. I also don't think it's accurate in the sense of you're not going to build something successful long term because at the end of the day, you are giving up, to work, you're giving up time with friends and family. When those friends and family are going to be the reason you are able to be happy to do your life and feel motivated to go back to work. So you can have that stability, economic stability, money, whatever it is, success, to then go take time off from work to spend it with friends and family and experiences. So it's kind of like a whole full circle thing. But the thing is, if you devote all your time to work and you don't have any relationships and quality people in your life to go, spend that time with when you're not working, what's the point of working so hard? And I feel like a lot of people right now are forgetting that there's so much to life besides just work. And don't get me wrong, like I love to work. I really love a challenge. I love putting my brain to use. And I'm so excited to get a job because I am excited to wake up and have purpose and, wake up and do something that I'm motivated to do and that I enjoy doing and challenge myself and my brain because I love to use my brain. But at the same time, it's like I'm not spending my whole life preparing myself just for a job. It's just one aspect of my life. I could just be like going off a complete tangent here just because I'm feeling frustrated because I really am ready to go to Sweden and start my next chapter. And the thing is, I know I'm so close to the finish line. It's just these last couple of weeks are really challenging. I was listening to a podcast and he was saying, you have to really learn to fall in love with the journey. It may not be great some days, it may be better some days, but you just have to learn to show up, be professional, and get through it because that's the journey of life. And I think that's what kind of like Nordic and Swedish culture reminds me to do is to slow down and embrace the journey that is life. Going back to what I was talking about with like the whole relationships things, when I was originally in Sweden, a lot of people would talk about how Swedish people would basically just remain close friends with the people they grew up with. And while some foreigners complain about that, I feel like I really understand why, they're so close and they remain in those close, tight knit friend groups because relationships with people who have been through ups and downs and have seen you at your lowest and your highest and the struggles and your achievements, those are the relationships that have weathered experiences and will continue to weather more experiences. Because if you just have surface level relationships, they're not going to stay with you for the long term. They sense friction, they're going to want to leave because who wants friction in their lives, you know? The reason I bring that up is because my grandmother, she just said this to me. She said this to me many times, but she just said it to me earlier today. She said, you're going to be lucky to have 2 to 3 really good close friends in life. She talks about being really close with her friend from high school, her college roommate, and a friend here in town. And I feel like I have one really good close friend that I've taken away from high school, and a couple really good friends that I've taken away from college. And hopefully, I'll have some more good friends from Sweden and whatever comes after that. But I've really started to put like emphasis in my life about quality over quantity. During my undergrad, I spent so much time abroad in different places and would just try and go and see as many different places and have like even if it's just like living in a place for a couple months. And while I'm so thankful for those experiences, because they were quality experiences, you know, being able to live in Stockholm for 5 months and live in London for a month and Bangkok for summer and just recently Budapest for a couple of months. Well, those are great quality experiences. To me, right now, it's starting to feel like more like quantity rather than this current trip back to Sweden for 2 years feels more like a quality one because I'm gonna be there for 2 years where I can actually build real relationships with people. I think the thing was, like, when I was in Budapest, like, while it was a great, like, 2.5 months that I was there, you know, I really was there kind of alone. I didn't have any friends really there, which was not, like, a bad thing because I am a very introspective person. I love spending time with myself because when I was younger, I didn't spend any time with myself, and now I feel so comfortable with myself through these abroad experiences because they've forced me to be very independent. So I am thankful for those experiences that have reinforced my ability to be confident in myself and enjoy spending time with myself. I also really want to seek experiences that make me want to connect with others. And I feel like that kind of like connects really back to like the whole Swedish concept of lagom, which is like not too much, not too little, just the right amount. And I feel like that's kind of like the whole recipe to the perfect life. For example, you want to work enough to be able to support yourself and have experiences and be secure and have stability, but you don't want to work enough where you're foregoing experiences and relationships. And, you know, same thing with school. You want to focus on your education and getting a degree and, you know, preparing yourself to work. But at the same time, you don't want to give up those quality years of your life where you're creating these magical experiences and, you know, getting to know others. And then same thing with just like having a healthy lifestyle. Like you want to eat healthy and work out and take care of your body, but at the same time, it's like you want to indulge in like the wonders of food and culture and stuff. Like, I love semla, I love goaties, I love yummy things like that, which maybe are not great for you, they're not healthy, but it's like it's a balancing act of learning when to indulge and when not to indulge. I don't know if this really makes sense. I feel like I'm just kind of rambling on just because, again, I've just been really stressed. This feels like college all over again. I was going to a new school far away, and while I was super excited about that, I was also very nervous. But this feels like I've leveled up. Like I've leveled up. I'm gone to the next level. You know, I think everything about me is different in some senses. Like I just feel more like me. You know, I dress more in a way that I think looks more like me. I have things that I own that I think more reflect me and my values. I've had experiences that reflect more of the type of life that I want to live. So it's like I feel more like me, and in a sense that feels great. And I feel more prepared and more confident to go out into the world and, you know, start this next chapter. At the same time, it also makes me feel more vulnerable in the sense of I feel more like my authentic self, but what happens if that's not well received? Even though, like, I'm not really worried about making friends just because I'm a very social, outgoing person. I think my biggest problem is remaining open to having experiences and new friendships. You know, there's a seagull. Can you see it? There's a seagull. Hello, seagull. Goodbye, seagull. Oh, you're coming back? Okay. Oh, it just pooped. Very nice seagull. I think it also just freaks me out just because In some ways, it feels like my life is about to start, being in a city and being in an environment that I think has opportunities for me, which I'm very excited about because I want to take advantage of every opportunity that comes my way. I feel like I've been very good about that, and that's why I've been able to get so far so quickly because I really take advantage of every opportunity that comes my way. And I think that is the secret to life. Because like my thing is like, why wouldn't I apply for a scholarship? Even though if I think I might not get it, there's still a chance I would get it. That's kind of like the whole reason I'm able to do my master's is because I got so many scholarships for my bachelor's that I was in a good enough position economically to go do my master's because it is an investment, it's an investment to go spend 2 years abroad. And I really don't take anything for granted, I feel like anymore because I've worked so hard to get here and will continue to keep working hard. Don't mind you that. I think a part of me just gets frustrated with myself that I want so much for myself. That sounds terrible, but it's like I want so many experiences in life and I want to do so many things in life. But the thing is also, it's like it kind of kills me that I don't want that, like, this isn't enough for me. Like, here I am on this gorgeous ocean in the coast of Maine. The thing that I like about Sweden is that how much it reminds me of Maine, but it's like, there's so much that attracts me to Sweden that I can get here in Maine. So it's like, kind of like, why is Maine not enough? Like, why is Boston not enough? Why, like, why is New England not enough for me? And I think it goes back to the fact that I really, unfortunately, like to put myself in uncomfortable situations where I'm forced to grow because after these next 2 years, I'm gonna be a completely different person. I mean, not a completely different person, but so much is going to change, and my life is gonna be turned upside down. I'm gonna be in a foreign country. Luckily, they speak English, but they speak Swedish there, and, I'm gonna try and learn Swedish, but there's a different mindset, there's different things, there's different problems facing them, and I am an outsider coming in, So, I need to learn to adapt. Of course, I can bring my culture and experiences and my expertise because I think that's a great thing about an international way of life. But at the same time, too, it's like I'm going to be in a different country where I don't have citizenship to for a couple years. So it would be improper of me not to try and adapt in some ways. I think I'm gonna wrap this up because I don't want this to be too long because I have other things I need to do today, unfortunately. So I just need to keep reminding myself to stay present. I need to really, really enjoy my time with my family while I have the chance. I've been golfing a lot with my grandfather, even though it's not for me. Like, I'm not a golfer. It honestly feels like a fever dream when I wake up in the morning and then I'm on the course at like 7:38 and he makes us walk the whole course because that's his favorite part. And do I feel like I'm living in a fever dream? Yes. Do I get frustrated because I'm not very good? Yes. But it's something that he enjoys. So I need to enjoy the time that I have with him and an activity that we're doing together. Same with my grandmother. I'm gonna make pickles with her out of cucumbers we're growing in our garden next week. Well, let's wrap this up. The moral of this episode is to stay grounded and stay present. I need to enjoy the work. I need to enjoy the ups and downs, the relationships, the heartbreaks, the failure, and the successes. Life is moving quick, and I think the best thing we can do is slow down. So I'm gonna go do that. Peace out.